Look, envelopes. That means it's a mail call. That means I have new stuff for decks. This one's going to be light. This is like one card. So let's open it first. Oh, it's more cards, but I don't know what is this. Broadside Barrage. It's Ether Drift. I don't give a shit. That's Ether Drift. I don't give a shit. Fuck Ether Drift. I hate that set. Well, I don't hate it. I just don't like it. And really don't want anything to do with it. Well, that is kind of cool looking. I mean, so what the fuck is this? Blue-green for 1/1 flying Death Toucher. That's like Winged Collateral. But Winged Collateral costs 1 more, I think. Exhaust. Reveal cards on top of your library to reveal 2 lands. Put them on the battlefield tapped. Rest on the bottom plus Okay, that would actually be good for the deck I'm building now, but it's Ether Drift, so I'm not going to play it. What's this other bullshit? Broadside Barrage. 1 blue-red. Deals 5 damage, hard creature, planeswalker, draw a card, and throw away a card. Okay, discard a card. This is what I actually ordered. Flare Denial. 1 blue-blue, sacrifice non-token creature, non-token blue creature. Rather than paying this spell's mana cost, counteract a spell. Blah, done. Okay, so I'm thinking, I got this for the blue-green deck that I'm making now. So I'm making blue-green Tactile of Event the Druid. And it has warped from my initial vision into something else, as this happens from time to time. You get an idea for deck, you have a picture in your head, you have a plan, then you start putting cards together, you start stacking them up, and you realize, hey, that works with this. This is nice. I have this, I have that, I have this, I don't have to buy these. They would work in the deck, so I'll put them in. And next thing you know, this is not like my original vision at all. C'est la vie. So, if this doesn't go in that blue-green deck, I'll probably put it into Azami. Azami is a Astrucian deck. I don't have Force of Wills for my commander decks. I have Chinese Force of Wills for my vintage decks. But I don't have any for my commander decks because I don't like exiling my own cards in commander. I just don't. In vintage, in modern, I'll delve all day. I don't give a shit. Exile cards to get something? Fuck yeah, I don't care. But in commander, I care because I only have one of any one card. Such as it is. So that will go somewhere. Now let's get to the fat stack. Oh yeah. Fat stack. Everybody loves fat stack. Void Slime. This is going in that blue-green deck. Counter target spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. They had a foil one for 300 crowns, but I'm already scraping the bottom. I really don't have that much left to trade in. Everything that I have now, my collection, is either in a deck, cards I really, really like the art on and aren't very valuable, cards I really, really like the art on, and the price has actually fallen from what I paid for the goddamn things, and cards that I know damn well, if I trade them in 6 months to a year, I will build a deck and I'll say, I should have kept that card because the price has gone up. So I got the 50 crown flat Void Slime, but to be honest, when it comes to foils and flat cards, flat meaning non-foil because it just looks flat. Foil, they pop, they sparkle, they shine. Some of them, almost look three-dimensional with the way they pop out at you. So, instants and sorceries, I really only see them in my hand, and then I use them in the graveyard. So, if they're not foil, it's okay. Permanents, I really like my permanents to be foil. This guy was not available in foil. That at Journey Retiche at my local game store. This is going in the blue-green deck. And this got me thinking, Solemn Simulacrum is probably my most overrepresented card among my decks. So I've got 23 commander decks. 2 of them aren't really mine because they're just modified Lord of the Rings cards, so they cannot have a Solemn Simulacrum because it was not printed in Lord of the Rings. The other 21 decks, I probably have now 11 Solemn Simulacrums across those 21 decks. Half of my commander decks probably have a Solemn Simulacrum. And the one I'm building now, number 23, it's going to have a Solemn Simulacrum. It's also going to have a Sylvan Safekeeper. So, Tatiova, kind of a land card. People build it as a landfall theme. She lets you play an extra land each turn. So, I'm leaning into that kind of land thing. So I got this guy. He doesn't fly. He's not from the sea. So he doesn't really fit the sea and sky theme that I had in my head. But he works pretty goddamn good in the deck, or he should. Because I should be able to play extra lands. I have a few cards that let me play lands from my graveyard. So if I sacrifice a land, it shouldn't set me back too much. And sacrifice land, target creature control gains Shroud until end of turn. So he costs 1 green, he sits there, and if I really need to protect somebody, he blows up a land, and that creature gains Shroud, can't be targeted. This guy I did not know was a card. I've been playing with him on Arena for a year, and as more and more of these fucking video game, whatever, Arena bullshit cards, the fucking A and the fucking A, no, I hate those. I don't want to play a goddamn video game. I want to play Magic in a video setting, in that sort of setting. I should probably just play Magic Online Trading League, or Magic Online, what is it? Magic Online Model? No, I keep thinking Trading League. But the old platform, whatever the fuck it is. So I didn't know this guy was a card for a long time. And then I looked it up and I realized, oh, here's a card. And I just filed it in the back of my head. And finally, I thought I would get one. LGS has one. So 2 redwood, 2 red. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Sack a goblin, destroy target artifact. He is going into either Karavek or Aurelia because they both have a lot of goblins. I ordered a foil one. Cherny Retige did not have a foil one, but I found a seller online selling a foil one for about €5, I think it was. So I went ahead and bought it. So ultimately, Karavek and Aurelia will get one eventually. It's just, who gets it first. But this guy, so when I thought he was Arena only, I was surprised because he could be a card. He is a card, obviously. But some of that other bullshit, like motherfuckers are in your hand perpetually gain 1 colorless left to their mana cost. Perpetually gain some bullshit. Seek out this card. Heist your... Fuck all that. I don't like that. It's gotten to the point where if I see somebody play that, and I'm not in a very, very good position, I just concede. I say good game, and I go. Because I don't want to play against that bullshit. I don't. Mundungu. They had this guy cheap. They had this guy for 19 crowns. Back when Visions came out, I loved to look at this card. And I tried to make it work. So I went ahead and got one for my collection, my art collection. Because I remember trying to make him work. I still like the art. It's pretty cool. So 1 black-blue for is probably a human wizard now. I'm sure that got updated in the great type updating. 1/1, counter target spell unless that spell's caster pays an additional 1 colorless and 1 life. Play it as an interrupt. So I could actually play him, especially in a deck where activate abilities trigger twice. So they'd have to pay 2 and 2 life. Anyway, I wanted one of him, so I got him. Now I have one again. Venser, Shaper Savant, the anime version. This is going in that blue-green deck, which I'll record another video and show you once I file all the cards I got for it away. 2 blue-blue, 2/2 flashy human wizard. When he enters, return a card, spell, or permanent. I've heard people say Venser is not that good anymore. I beg to differ. I still think he's fantastic. I still really like him. I probably have him in too many decks, but I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that on the way home, about these cards key cards. Venser Shaper Savant, Solemn Simulacrum, Eternal Witness. Why do I have Wood Elves? Why do I have so many across so many decks? Not just they're good, but when I make a new deck, it's nice to have something familiar. It's nice to have something I know very well. I know how it works. As I'm seeing how the rest of the deck works, if that makes sense. So, Venser with different art, but it's still the same guy. Deep Gnome Terramancer. I have high hopes for this guy. 2 for a 2/2 flashy gnome wizard. That's why I got him. Mold Earth. Whenever one or more lands into the battlefield under an opponent's control without being played, you may search library for plains card, put in play tapped, and shuffle. Only once per turn. So if somebody fetches, I can go find a plains. Now, the reason I got him is Nalia only has 7 native wizards. She has 2 shapeshifters. She has Burikos, party leader, and he is everything. He is wizard, rogue, warrior, and cleric. But since I only have 7 wizards, I was thinking, that's probably the reason I can't build a party that fucking quickly, is because I don't have enough wizards. So Nalia is going to get him. I'm also going to take the Dranath Magistrate out of Ikrashidiki Sarakondo and give that to Nalia also, because she needs more of the control element, because she's full of small creatures. She's kind of like a black-white Edric in a way. So she's going to get the Dranath Magistrate in this guy, and I don't know what I'll take out, but I do know I need to up the wizard count, and this is going to help. I just got this guy because he looks pretty cool. The foil one was cheap. I might put it in Edgar. I might put it in Edgar Markov. Might not. But I wanted one on hand in case I decide to do that with Edgar, the vampire. Edgar Markov. The Mardu vampire. Not Edric, the blue-green elf spymaster. And while I was at it, I got this version too in foil. So one might go into Saskia, or maybe I should put it into Corvold. Corvold, I'll be sacrificing something every turn once he's in play and starts attacking. And if it's a creature, whittling away at my opponent's little advantages. So I got this guy. They're the same guy, it's just different art, that's all it is. Whenever this or another creature control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So when I was looking at wizards, I saw her and I like the art. It's very Indiana Jones-esque to me. I could picture her hanging out with the Indiana Jones. So I thought, I just want one for the art binder, and she was only 7 crowns. So I picked her up. I could put her in the deck, because she is a 1 and a black for a 1/2 wizard. Not great stats, not bad. When she dies, draw a card, lose 1 life. Well, as it so happens, Nalia has Luris of the Dream Den. So every turn I can play something for 2 out of my graveyard. She also has Vora Stronghold. I can put this back on the Novice Occultist back in time, the library drawer again, and leave her there, player, to, help me draw cards. Not really the best idea. It's a potential, but really I just got her for the art. Joro Monvuli Recluse. Okay. Tatiana says, whenever I play a land, I get to draw a card. And I put ways of getting more land in the deck. And I thought, if I'm drawing cards because I'm playing lands, that'll be my second card. It'd be nice to have some tokens. I need some early creatures. Plus, if I'm drawing cards, at some point I'm going to have a grip of cards in my hand. 6. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base power toughness XX, which is the number of cards in your hand. So, she works really well in Corvald. She works really well, very well in Edric. One of these days, I will get the names right between Edgar the vampire and Edric the elf. One of these days. So anyway, it's amazing how cheap she is. I get that she's not played in Modern, she has no real home, but in the right deck, wow. If you're drawing, and I put, this blue-green deck, I've got a Ristic Study in there. I might take it out. But if I have Ristic Study, my opponents play 2 spells, and they let me draw 2 cards, and I get another kitty cat. So, high hopes for her. Harbinger of the Tides, just went ahead and picked up a couple of these. One of them will go into the blue-green deck, double blue, 2/2. If I pay 2 more, if I pay 2 colorless blue-blue, I can cast him as an instant. When he comes into play, I'm going to return a target tapped creature an opponent controls to his hand. So, if somebody's attacking me, I could just bounce it back. Figured he'd be good, so I went and got 2. I mean, he was good in Merfolk. He's fallen out of favor in Merfolk. In Modern Merfolk, he's fallen out of favor. But I see that he's come back. I see Nikichu in his latest build, where he took, I think, 3rd place or 1st place, one of the 2. He's running Harbinger of the Tides in his sideboard. So, it's good that I have some for my Merfolk sideboard. Realm Right. If you're playing any deck with blue, and you have a bunch of lands that produce colorless, or you have a 3-color deck, I highly recommend getting one of these guys. Because we don't have a blue Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, we don't have a blue Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. This guy is a good substitute. 1 blue for a 1/1 Vidalcan Wizard. When he comes to play, choose a base land type. Land you control with the chosen type in addition to their other types. So in the blue-green deck, he's going to turn all of the forest into tropical islands, and all of my colorless mana producers, all my bullshit lands, as the genie calls them, will be able to produce blue for me. So he is going in the deck. I don't have a deck for this. I don't. I just wanted one. And it wasn't that much. The price has fallen a lot. He used to be kind of expensive, but now he's not. 3 triple red, triple blue hybrid, 4/4. Other blue creatures control get +1/+1. Other red creatures you control get +1/+1. You spend 4 red blue hybrid, and you just throw a blue or red creature card from your hand into play. I was thinking I might put this guy into Nekazar. I really don't have enough creatures to support it, really, to be honest. But he's just cool. I have fond memories of playing this guy. Cross and Grip, just a foil one. 2 green, split second, blow up an artifact or enchantment. Orum's Thunder. I want to put this into Raylia. I had a non-foil one, and just on a lark, I looked up, well, how much Charney Ratig is selling a foil one for? 50 crowns. €2.50. I thought, shit, I'll trade for that. 2 and a white. Kicker red. So if you pay 2 white red as an instant, it can be an instant if, it is an instant. You can play it as an instant. Anyway, blow up an artifact or enchantment. If you paid the kicker, Orum's Thunder deals damage equal to that artifact or enchantment CMC to target creature. So, for 4 mana, you get rid of an artifact or enchantment that's bothering you, and a creature too, as long as it's big enough. Speaking of art, looking up the wizards. So I went on Gatherer, and I just looked up black and white wizards. Well, he was on there. 3 in a black for 1/1 wizard. 2 in a black, tap. Show off any number of black cards in your hand. Target creature gets neg X until end of turn, where that's the number of cards revealed this way. Huh. So I looked up Attorney Retige, and this guy, he was sub 100 crowns. He was less than €5 in foil. I thought, this guy could be pretty good in Hirobi. This guy would be funny in Hirobi. Because it targets a creature, so automatically, even if I show 0 black cards, Hirobi will still kill the creature. If Hirobi is not in play, and I have a handful of black cards, I can still kill things. So I'm thinking of shoving him into Hirobi just because I like the old cards. I like the way they look. I like the foils. Of course, today the creatures are much better today. Creatures from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, most of them sucked. Most of them sucked real bad. Most of the spells were good, but it took them a while to make the creatures good. Now they've gone fucking overboard. Way overboard. They've got that stupid cactus thing that gets plus 1,000 when it attacks. What the fuck is that? Bullshit. Dread Return. I had a foil Graveborn. I traded it in to get this. It was almost equal value, so 1-to-1. Because I don't really like the Graveborn foiling style. It's just a sheet of plastic. Dread Return, 2 black, sorcery. Return target creature card to the battlefield. Flashback, sacrifice 3 creatures. And do it again. I should... No, I don't have enough creatures. I was thinking Kenrith. Kenrith has become a reanimator deck. Resurrector deck. So he resurrects creatures. I've got an Unburial Rites in there. Dread Return might be better, except I normally will not have 3 creatures I want to sacrifice. So, good in token deck. And then loots! I got some looty booties. So looty booty here. 2 in a green, 1/4 Beast Noble. I can play an additional land in each of my turns. I'm thinking of putting one of these, because I got 2, in that blue-green deck. I'm definitely going to use them because I really like this guy. I like him a lot. 4 green, tap, look at the top 6 cards of the library. You can show everybody a creature card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control and put it into play. And the rest go on the bottom in any order. Nice. So I thought, there's so many places he can go. He can go into Moldratha, help get around Breathstealer's Crypt. I already have one at Ikra Shadiki Sarakondo. He could go in the blue-green deck I'm making because it should, a lot of lands, so I should be able to play pretty much anything. He can go into Korvold. He just, it's great. I love this guy. So I got a foil set copy to go along with it. The one in Ikra Shadiki Sarakondo is flat, not foil. Hans Eriksson. I've got the etched version, and I don't really like it. I never really liked it, but I stuck with it. And then when I saw how cheap he was, because I just have him for the art, I have him in the binder, so he is in the bottom pocket, and then there's something here, and then there's Safi Eriksdottir. So Safi, something else, and then Hans. So Safi and her brother on the same page in my art binder. What does he do? Okay, 2 green-red for a 1/4 Human Scout. Whenever he attacks, like I'm going to attack with a 1/4, reveal the top card, just the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put in play tapped and attacking, defending the player, or a planeswalker they control. Otherwise, put the card in your hand. But if you put a creature card into play, it fights him. So if it's a big creature, if it's something scary and interesting, it's going to kill him. So you're not going to get that many triggers out of him. Now, if it's loot, and they each do 1 point of damage to each other. Okay, fair enough. So really, if you're going to play Hans Eriksson, you're going to want a Sensei Divining Top or a Score Rack. Oh yeah. And this is stuff that I tried to trade in, but they didn't want because of condition. So, Murmuring Bosk, a little banged up around the edges. Savage Lands. Why didn't they want this? Looks pretty good to me. I don't know. Inami Death Aspect. Let's see. Not sure why they didn't want him. Oh, right here. It's just, you can barely see it, barely noticeable. So Inami, Infernal Kirin, and Bountiful Kirin, Bounteous Kirin, they all came out of Carador. Normally when I break up a deck, I keep a lot of the components, especially the components specific to that deck, in case I ever want to build it again. I don't think I'm ever going to build Carador again. I really don't, because the game has sped up a lot since Champions Kamigawa. Sped up a lot. It's only getting faster. Even though my mates and I that play at the pub, we said nothing after Duskmorn except for the one deck that Cube already bought, the one Precon he already bought, nothing after Duskmorn. It's still fast, and Carador really can't protect his graveyard. So the idea with Carador is I play Inami. He comes into play. I dump all my spirits into the graveyard, and then I do Patriarch's bidding, naming spirits. All the spirits come out of the graveyard. Well, while they're in the graveyard, if I don't have the bidding in hand, or I need another turn to cast it, it's kind of shaky. Somebody exiles my graveyard, poof, there it goes. And that's really the game plan. That's the idea of it. It doesn't have much else going for it. So I decided to sell off the pieces that are endemic to it. They also didn't want this Voice of Resurgence. Don't really see why. They didn't want her, even though she's only 15 crowns in credit. Don't know why. I'm not sad about this at all. I needed something else to trade in to get everything I wanted. And I've got two of these. Two of these from Zendikar. I don't play them. I don't have them in any deck. But I like looking at them. They're beautiful. I mean, the foil really pops and shines. So I wasn't that broken up when they didn't want it. I was like, oh, okay, you don't want that one? That's fine. And then, to compensate for the cards that they didn't want, I had to take a few cards out that, for example, they had a Time Spiral Remastered foil Dread Return, but it was kind of scuffed up. This guy's kind of scuffed up, but I just wanted him, so I let it go. Same with Orm's Thunder. 2 Crossing Grips, but the other one was pretty scuffed up. There was a Solemn Simulacrum that the corner was bent. It was bent. It was a foil, borderless foil, and I thought, what do you do? So you're going to pick the shit out of my cards. You're going to flip them over and look at them ever so carefully and make sure they're perfectly in, and you're giving me a fucking damage card. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. So I just took it out. I'm not paying for that. I'm not trading for that. It's damaged. So anyway, that's mail call.